I mean, we've both done a load of podcasts, interviewed a load of people, and I know that I've changed my life. I just, like, I'd have a guest on and I go, that's interesting. And it's not that just because somebody says something that you believe them, but then you do further research and everything. And I'm just curious, has there been ones that like stick out to you that you have had on your show that, oh, any of the shows that you've done?
In a good way or a bad way?
Either or, I mean, whatever comes to mind.
So one of the things that is, I always tell people, and I send them a whole thing on how to make sure that you have a good background, a good microphone, a good camera. And what winds up happening is, and one of the things I say on there is, don't be afraid to get loud, to scream, to be happy, to move your hands. And I had a gentleman that I had a pre-call with. I always do that. I want to feel the temperature of how they are. If they speak well, great. If they stumble a lot, it's not going to be a good show because they don't know how to talk, or how to communicate properly. And so what winds up happening is that I'm doing that in the pre-call. And so I had a gentleman who was amazing on the pre-call. And thank God I recorded it because it was not live. Because when we went, okay, I said, okay, show's starting, let's do it. It was crickets. The guy barely spoke. He was low. He was like this. I was like, what's going on? And I try to excite him and ask him all these questions about, he had an exciting, but I think he got nervous because the recording started and he shut down. And that's one recording I never put out. I couldn't. It would have made him look bad. Forget me, right? Because I'm moving. I'm action based. But for him, it would have made him look bad. So I just never put that show up. And I got to tell you, I'm very fortunate that everybody who's been on my show has been amazing. And the reason is because I do those pre-calls, because I ask the questions. And for me, it's about them. So I never put anybody on the spot and ask them a question that they're not going to be happy talking about, because it's about them, right? I've had people cry on my show, and it's not because I'm going to make you cry. No, it's because I asked them a question, and they said, nobody's ever asked me that question. And then they started thinking, and tears started to flow. And they're like, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I said, please don't be sorry. I said, thank you. Thank you for being you. This is who I wanted on the show, you. I want you on my show. That's why you're here. And then they apologized. They cried. I said, you don't have to apologize. And then I said, well, why are you crying? And they said, well, because, and then they went deeper, right? And I've had other people reach out to me and they go, thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show, because my mother saw it. I said, oh, that's great. And she goes, my mother learned things about me she never knew. I was like, that's interesting. So I have been very fortunate that I've had amazing people on my show. I know you've been on my show, right?